Brodie Lee Tsiknaris here today. Brodie is honestly one of the most exciting, interesting, powerful women in my life. You have won so many awards, like the list is fucking long. Hair Expo Queensland Hairdresser of the Year, AHIA Business Director of the Year 3 times, Australian Hairdresser of the Year finalist. There's this delusion that people see people like you, multiple award winner, running one of the leading salons in Brisbane. They think that you just kind of woke up one day and this just happened. I don't see everything that went on behind the scenes.
I saw very quickly how much business pressure can affect someone's mental state. And I also saw the effects of bullying, jealousy, small town gossip. It was this cool guy, and unfortunately the bullying that started was absolutely relentless. Amazing world and amazing childhood to just be like, oh my God, I've just found my boyfriend dead.
You have one of the most unbelievable fertility stories as well. You've welcomed a beautiful daughter, Bella. That didn't just happen for you either.
No, babe, it didn't.
I was a complete dumbass at school and I tried really hard and it killed me that I wasn't smart at school, but it's made me definitely tougher in my business life and every other life since then. This podcast is being recorded on Gubbi Gubbi land. We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this land, our country, and elders past and present. My name is Cait Muir, and I'm here again with another episode of Tell Me About It podcast. And today I am so excited because I have one of my amazing friends, Brodie Lee Tsiknaris, here today. And we met a million years ago at New York Fashion Week in 2014, I think it was. And I think just looking back on us as babies then and how much our lives has changed in the last 11 years and everything that's been going on, I'm just really excited and really grateful for you to be here today.
Thank you.
Brodie is honestly one of the most exciting, interesting, powerful women in my life. If you are anybody in the hairdressing industry, you will know that name. And she's just trailblazing. She's doing all the amazing things. And she's here today to tell you guys all about it, all about the incredible things that are going on in her life and the pains and the awful things too. But I'm just excited to crack in. So just a little bit of a trigger warning today, guys. This episode will contain talk of pregnancy loss, infertility, and suicide. So if any of that is not for you, you may just want to give this one a bit of a miss.
Heavy
start. So like I said, this is the beautiful Brodie Lee Tsiknaris. She is the owner of Rokstar Salons. She is, in her own words, chief rockstar babe, director, fashionista, forward thinker, and absolute trailblazer in the hair and beauty industry. Brodie, your accolades are honestly just as impressive as your artistry itself. You have won so many awards, like the list is fucking long. Hair Expo Queensland Hairdresser of the Year, AHIA Business Director of the Year 3 times, Australian Hairdresser of the Year finalist. You've also won things like Best Marketing Award, 4 times Queensland Salon Business of the Year, Business Director of the Year, Salon Design Awards. Like it goes on and on and on and on. You're also educator and ambassador for L'Oreal Professional and GHD. And I think as well as that, and I also want to highlight this because I know you're such a team girly, is how many of your staff have you've also trained and built and supported into those sorts of levels as well. So I think, you know, you're just incredible.
Thanks, babe. Yeah, it's like, you know, when I hear the list roll on, like I actually am not entering AHFA or anything at the moment because I'm just like, are people just going to be sick of me like at list? And I'm like, what? I have to cut some off now. I'm at that point. So
who would dare get sick of you? Come on.
It's like, it is, you know, I do take a moment to really like go, wow, because you know yourself, like you are so amazing. And I equally am just in awe of everything we've achieved. I think back to our young little ego selves in New York and not knowing what life was going to have in store for us, but also like how far you've come. It's truly amazing. And I love nothing more than seeing anyone, any human excel and achieve their dreams. And you know, especially when, like, I see people like yourself coming from the country and
country girls.
Yeah, I just think, you know, like country girls, you know, humble people and people that really have worked their asses off to get to where they are. And that's, you know, part of it with me seeing my team achieve things that truly lights me up more than any title could ever, achieve for me. Like helping them showing them what's possible, you know. Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think isn't it so funny if I look back to 2014, I was 24, I think we're the same age. We had the likes of the young Chantel Coucher and Talish. We had Angelique Shaw and her little salon as well. And like, it's just like insane to see how much us women have changed and grown since then. And like all the opportunities and the doors that have opened up or that we've opened up for ourselves, I guess. But yeah, you've been, it's been an incredible thing to watch. I think that's a thing too, I guess, is like there's this delusion that people see people like you, multiple award winner, running one of the leading salons in Brisbane, also married to an absolute boss of a hairdresser we will throw in there as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about him soon. But they think that you just kind of woke up one day and this just happened and you had all these opportunities thrown at you and they don't see everything that went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, like the word luck is like, I just hate luck, right? Like there is nothing lucky about this. It is blood, sweat, and tears, as you know. And, you know, I always take a moment when someone says to me, oh my God, you're so lucky. You just fell into it. You worked for big names. You married a global hairdressing icon and you just woke up like that. And I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, no. If you knew the slightest thing, you might change your tune a little bit. I know luck is such an awful word, and it's like, don't get me wrong. I think we are very lucky to be born in the country we're born in, and I think we're very lucky to, have certain things in our life. But career-wise, Jesus, I fell into hairdressing much like you did when I was like 13. I think you were really young as well, and ain't much been lucky about it.
No, that's right. Like there has been no luck in my hairdressing career. Let me tell you that. So, well, actually, in anything I've achieved in life, there's been no luck. It's just fun.
No, it's dredging, yeah. So you started really young, and you're actually not originally from Brisbane. You are actually country. I was like regional country. You were like country.
Yeah, I was country, like mining, farming, agriculture in the country. Yeah. Do you want me
you're
to
such a bona fide city? Yeah, you're such a bona fide city girl now. Like you're such a fashion girly, like always on the.
So funny because, you know, I love nature and I love open space and I love motorbikes and I love, you know, horses and, you know, rivers and water skiing and all of that. But my God, I never suited the country. Like I was like, I always just felt like I didn't fit in, you know, like I just didn't fit in. However, I did fit in, if that makes sense, you know, like.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Like, this part of me that just wanted to be in the city always. So I was never going to end up in the country. I was always escaping at some time. And I think, you know, you can relate to that. And, you know, there's people that just love living in the country. And I have the dearest friends that love it. And that's, you know.
Yeah, my sister froths it, like loves it. And
I need culture. I need, you know, restaurants. I need shops, I need experiences, I need different languages, I need like arts, you know, it's such a creative, right?
Yeah, 100%. And so you've got, you own your Rokstar salon now and you've got an incredible team behind you. You've just completed a complete new fit out in your salon, which is super cool as well. But it wasn't the first of your salons, you've had a few.
Yeah, so look, my first salon, like I started, you know, in the country. And I should say, like I grew up there. I had a beautiful life while I was there. I had, you know, very loving, supportive parents and incredible clientele. I started in one salon, didn't finish in that salon. And I was very young. And 13 at the time when I started in the industry, which is like
it's hard to think about, isn't it?
It's like, I don't know about you, but I look back and I'm like, man, I really got robbed of a childhood working days. Like, but in saying that, you know, I was always really determined. And I guess the thing for me, growing up in the country, as you know, there's not much to do, right? Like you're kind of into sport or you're into something. So for me, I was into dance, I was into ballet, and that was my life. I lived it, breathed it. I think I was 11 at the time when I came to the city, and I did a summer school at Bond University with Queensland Ballet. And it was then that I auditioned, and I was just obsessed with it. And my mum and dad were always like, we don't care what you do, just be the best at it.
Just love
whatever
it.
you do,
Just love
great.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're gonna go and clean, be the best cleaner. Like just do it well.
Isn't that what everyone should want for their children? Like, it baffles me that people don't, like, I don't want you to do what I failed at or what I want to do. I want you to do what makes you happy. Go and love it.
Exactly.
You got to spend so much of your life doing this.
That's right. So, I got into the ballet company, which was amazing. I toured with Queensland Youth Ballet, like at a very young age. That really shaped me as a person and also as a hairdresser. Because, I got to experience backstage life in tour settings and see how, transforming into a different costume or a different hairstyle, different makeup setting could completely transform a character. And, I got to feel what it felt like to have that transformation. So that kind of really ignited this flame in me for hair in a different way, because I started to see hair a bit different to how I'd seen it being in the salon having my hair cut, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And also the discipline it takes to get into something like that. I don't think that people really appreciate how hard ballet dancing is and like not ballet dancing. I said that really quickly. Ballet dancing, 100%. But like people don't actually understand the discipline that goes into sports and dance and those sorts of things like that, like how much you train, your diet, like everything that goes along with it. It's not just showing up and doing something you love. Like there's so much in the background as well.
It's so true. And, I say that when I employ people now, like if you've done sport, if you've done motocross, if you've been a swimmer, whatever it is that you've done, that you've had to work hard, train hard, practice, show up consistently and not give up.
Yep.
They're the attributes that I look for in an employee, but they're the attributes that have shaped my whole life, which I never knew at such a young age. It was, it's really the resilience of being turned away, knocked back down, not given that role, or even just not being, included in a dance or something. It's all those things, that constructive criticism that really set me up for the trajectory of my life path and for all the shit that followed, really. Because, it's like that mentality of, get knocked down, but get back up. Don't sit in sadness for too long. Don't, shake it off. Like, which obviously, nowadays society, we're so much more aware of feelings and sitting with feelings and emotions and, but it shaped me.
I feel that there's also, I don't know what it is now, there is a real inability to take feedback. And I don't know if that is schools not preparing children for the real world or parents not preparing children for the real world. But, like, I'm not having a go at you. I just asked you not to sweep the floor that way and instead sweep it this way. Why are you crying? Like, it's just like there's this, I don't know. I don't know what's shifting or what's happening, but I love that there's so much of an appreciation of mental health and things like that too. But I do feel like it's sometimes quite weaponized when really like people need to just step in, step up and kind of get on with it too.
Oh my God, totally. Like, that's a whole nother podcast. But I watched recently at my own, daughter's birthday party, which I outsourced and threw at a party center. But
love, no dealing with kid things, love, just
it's a princess party and they're passing the parcel and every child got a prize. And I was sitting there going, this is where it starts at 4. Every child's a winner. Like, but it's like there was no anticipation or no excitement for those that the music stopped on because it's, okay, tick list, who hasn't had a prize yet? And I was like, that's it. That's what we're training now.
Oh my God. I love that that's where your brain went. You're like, okay, it started. I'm already poisoning them with this.
And then I was like, can you not give my daughter a prize? Because I want her to learn. Like, it's her birthday. She's got enough presents. But, I want her to learn these life lessons that we learned,
Yeah, 100%.
To take constructive criticism.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that this was true of you because we've spoken about this before, but like I was a complete dumbass at school and I tried really hard and it killed me that I wasn't smart at school, but it's made me definitely tougher in my business life and every other life since then.
Really, like look at how many successful people that I just,
Yup.
Like the schooling, it's another subject, babe. We could talk about today.
100%.
Where we were going, all of that. So life in the country was good, and
Yeah.
I started hairdressing, and I was obsessed with it, mainly from the ballet background, seeing that.
Yeah.
So, I was that
Love
kid
that.
in the back of the salon that was reading the magazine, seeing what was happening in the city versus like the standard cuts, colors, perms, which is so important, fundamental, but I wanted more. I was hungry for more. And the opportunity came. I just finished my apprenticeship. I was 18. I had no idea what I was doing. In my mind, I was going to London, which I was. Like, I was going straight to Salon, as anyone who really passionately wants to, aim for the stars. That was me. And my beautiful boss, who I had finished my apprenticeship with, had to sell a salon for personal reasons.
Yep.
And
Same as mine, yeah.
Yeah, she said to me, Brodie, I've got to sell a salon. Would you be interested? And just like that, I went, I'm going to buy it. Simple as that. Didn't even know what GST was.
And you were 18?
18 and a couple
I was
of weeks.
19. It's like, hey, like I can't even look back at that. I've got nephews that are nearing that age, and I'm just like, I just couldn't even imagine them owning a business or something at that age. I was a baby. I had no idea.
Same. No idea. And I went home and told my mum and dad, and I will never forget the look on my face. I love her.
Same.
But she was like honestly, if could like shock someone and, send you into an electric shock, I'd have been electric shocked. She's like, what? And of course, she came around, as she always does, and a supporter, and my dad, who is always just a go-getter in life, and like, a lot of my qualities come from both my parents, but especially him. He was just like, let's do it. Like, I never wanted to own a business. I never wanted to be a salon owner. I had zero desire. I'd never even thought about it. He always like dreamed about Brodie's on the beach, like this little salon that he would talk about. And
Cute.
it just happened like that. I bought the salon, no idea what I was doing, and very quickly learnt the hard way, as most people do. You have to learn what you're doing and educate yourself. And boy, was that a journey. I had to strap in.
Yeah, I think and this is, I guess, why we don't work with startups usually either. Like, we prefer people who've been in like 12 months plus, usually 2 years plus, and, sometimes right through to 10 years plus. But we like people to kind of like, you've got to get in and give it a bit of a go and learn what your faults are and learn what your weaknesses are and learn what you don't know to then be able to go and fix the things that are going on. And I think the only way you learn is by doing.
Yeah, that's right. My gosh, like there's no better way to learn than making mistakes, right?
100%. And how long did you have that salon for?
So I had that salon for 5 years. And it was, it was an incredible salon. Like, it was, I don't know about you, but I'm sure there's listeners on here that know about small towns, and people, a lot of people give country towns, and I hear hairdressers giving their own salon in a country town a bad rap. And I'm like,
100%.
My God, that salon was a gold mine. It was absolutely amazing. The community support, it was booked out for weeks, for months, and I wasn't even aware of rebooking and retention. It just happened. Booking just happened at the best retention ever. And bless, I've got clients that have been with me for 20 years that, a lot of clients that followed me and, 10 hours away, I still do their hair. I do their kids' hair now when they move to university in Brisbane. I've done their formals there. Like,
how cute is it watching people go from like their first haircut when they were babies and then they're like graduating and you're like, shut up.
There's a lot. There's so much to be said for country town support as well.
Yep.
And, we, as you know, you can't get staff in a country. Like, you have to train your own. Like, it's just the only way. And
I know that training apprentices in general is something you're extremely passionate about, isn't it?
So passionate. And it was, I think because someone gave me the opportunity. And, we didn't have seminars in the country. Like, we had to travel 2 hours, catch a plane, or drive 9 hours, which we did. And you know, as you did too, like it made you hungry.
Totally.
And it's something that, you know, sometimes I look at my guys and they get all these amazing things coming with me. You know, I had an apprentice, second assistant to me as I directed Fashion Week in Melbourne, you know, like, and I'm just like, oh my God, you have no idea. Like I'm there paying for accommodation, making sure she's well fed. My first Fashion Week, I couldn't afford to eat. Like I'm staying at a pub and, you know, I'd spent a bomb on flights and I'm living off cuppa soup. Like, you know, and I'm there hoping to get the opportunity to pass up a pin. Whereas they're there backstage, El McPherson's walking, like they're right next to me.
I mean, we were the same. Even if I look back on like my first Fashion Week was that New York Fashion Week where I met you, and it was like Angela and I shared a room because we couldn't afford to do it on our own. We had to fly ourselves there. We had to stay there. We had to pay for absolutely everything. And then from following that, I did a few Sydney and a few Melbourne ones as well. And it was the same thing. Like you got to get yourself there, Sisso. Like no one's paying you to go there. You're going there for the experience. Like you're going there to learn and just be treated like a slave and forever it.
These rock stars there, and they're like rock stars. But, you know, it's like it's so beautiful to give that opportunity.
Oh, my God, 100%.
But I always try and let them know, like, that's not the norm, guys. Like, there's a whole percentage of people that work incredibly hard, that audition to have those positions that, you know.
Yeah, you lucky bitches. Don't take it for granted.
Bless them. I love my team so much, truly. You can't work for me unless you're a beautiful human. So they are deserving, but you know, I have to let them know that that's not how it always was.
I love that. I love that so much. And so what was the actual catalyst then that made you sell and move into Brizzy?
Yeah, look, this is definitely where the trigger warning hits, because it's not pretty. And so I had that salon, things were going great, you know, business was great, community support was great. I was living an amazing life, had a beautiful boyfriend who I met and fell in love with. And, you know, first love, he was a city boy, he was a builder, but he ended up moving to the country for work. And, you know, young love sweeps you off your feet. And the
first one's different to everyone, isn't it?
Totally. He was in business as well. So he had a building business. And
incredible.
In that like driven personality I am, I was really inspired and in awe of him. And, you know, we had fun. Like we would go out Thursday nights, Thirsty Thursday, back it up Friday in the salon.
Thirsty Thursday.
Oh my God. And then go out again Friday night. And, you know, you wouldn't even show like that you were hungover, but you were there and you're working Saturday, and then we'd ski all weekend on the, you know, on the dam, the rivers, like whatever it was, we'd be out wakeboarding. Like life was really amazing.
Beautiful.
My parents moved to the city, and I should say my parents were in mining. That's how we ended up in central Queensland. And so they moved to the city, which was like, you know, part and parcel of what happens. People leave the country, but I bought a salon and I was stuck there. But I was happy because I was in love and, you know, he'd moved there. But the plan was always to move back out once he finished those projects. I saw very quickly how much business pressure can affect someone's mental state. And I also saw the effects of bullying, jealousy, small town gossip, all of that. He was very successful. Yeah, it was awful. He was super successful, you know, came from the city, drove an amazing Chevy. Like, it was this cool guy. And unfortunately, the bullying that started was absolutely relentless. And that really took effect on him. He was someone, I always say, the people that like talk about suicide, in my experience, and I've learnt a lot and done a hell of a lot of deep diving and therapy. You know, there's people that say suicide and they use it, and they're not the ones that are doing it. It's more like just a talking about it. He was not the guy that you would ever expect that would take their life. A few events happened, which I won't, you know, ever mention. It's not a story I really ever go into.
Okay.
However, it was 2 weeks prior to Christmas. So as you know, for a salon owner, that's a really tough
Wild.
time.
Yep.
Just after my 22nd birthday. And it had been a huge week of pressure for him. And he took his life. And, you know, my whole world collapsed, which was like, you know, all of a sudden,
At 22, oh, bro.
amazing world and amazing childhood to just being like, oh my God, I've just found my boyfriend dead. I had to make a call that no person should ever have to make to another mother. And then I not only had to do that, I had to call my dad, who was 9 hours away, and tell him his little girl.
Get out of here.
And it was just awful, you know, and I flopped out a lot, but I still remember a lot, you know. And of course, like, my mum was there. She happened to be in town that weekend because she's still dealing with death.
She knew subconsciously, she knew someone sent her there.
My God, by chance she was there. But, you know, my whole world shattered. Not only was that a huge thing, we shared work premises. So my salon was next to his business.
Great. Yeah.
All of a sudden, I became a de facto of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be living with someone. So not only did I have a hair salon, there was a building company and people whose money was tied up in house builds, you know.
Wow.
It was just horrible. And like I said, I didn't see it coming. There was nothing that could have prepared me for it. But what I understand more than anything now is just how much people suffer in silence. And, you know, you never know what someone's going through, what they're facing, the pressures. It can all be too much, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a pretty hard lesson for a 22-year-old to wait.
It's something that nobody should have to experience. My experiences with suicide have been friends, and it's been hard enough. I could not even imagine losing Cam in any capacity, especially like that. And at 22, like you're just working out life, you know, like you're just starting to work out your life. You're doing well in business. You've met your person. Things are amazing. And it's actually hard to wrap your head around, babe.
It is. And then I was like, you know, so that was like the weekend, and I've got a business in the busiest time of year, as you know, in Christmas.
Yeah.
And I, unfortunately, being a small town, word had spread. You know,
everyone knows.
It was just awful. Like, but in saying that, there was incredible community support. And like with anything, when something bad happens, you learn very quickly who's there for you and who's not. And I'll never forget the kindness that some people shared. But I just had to pack up, and I couldn't look at their salon, obviously, because, you know, it was next to his business. It was just
every day you're seeing it and it's in your face. Yeah.
So I went to Brisbane, went to my parents' place, and my amazing dad, who always was, you know, he was just like, Brodie, this is a really fucking tough mountain and you have to climb it. And you've got to do the work, and you've got to, you know, there's going to be rocks and they're going to fall down. It's going to feel unstable, but no one can climb this mountain but you. And if you get to the top of it, the view will be pretty. And I've never forgot those words. So with his help, my mum's, you know, support, I went on a journey as a 22-year-old that most 22-year-olds don't. You know, most 22-year-olds are out partying. Most 22-year-olds are out living life. But all of a sudden, I had to stop, because what also happens with suicide is the guilt. When you're so close to someone, why did I not see this happening?
What could I have done?
Totally. Being the empath that I am, the person, the type of personality that I am, failure is just never an option. It's never been. And my tolerance for bullying as well. You know, like, why didn't I step in? Why didn't I see this? Why didn't I ask for help? Why didn't I? It was all the questions. And that can either you can either sink or swim, you know? So I had to start swimming. I swam pretty bloody fast, and I had to, you know, go on this self-discovery of learning about the mindset. I should mention my dad, he was a triathlete, worked in emergency response, was, you know,
amazing.
He would
That's why he was such a compassionate man. Wow.
Totally. He was a very soft, gentle man, and team sport, you know, team player, the life of the party, don't get me wrong. But he, you know, he's someone, he would ride 2 hours to the nearest town to watch my brother at boarding school, because that was how he saw getting his family priority, training priority, you know, a 2-hour round trip bike ride, mind you, like 2 hours there.
That makes me feel ill. Just thinking about that. That's my idea of health.
Kind of like, that's the kind of support that I had in my life, which, you know, he was like, right, we need to get Tony Robbins, like all the mindset stuff. So it opened me up to this incredible mindset. As you know, you've done a lot of inner work, and, you know, I know that you're a big believer and lover of certain, you know, things like NLP and all of that manifestation. And I just had to embrace it. So I did, because,
and I'm a believer in doing the fucking work. No one's going to do it for you. Make a choice. You can wallow in this and let it eat you alive and destroy every part of you, or you can choose to do the hard thing and face it all and do the work. And, you know, he would have wanted you to go and thrive and go and be this shiny, amazing thing that you are.
Absolutely. Like I could have been victim, but I was already the victim. I had enough guilt in myself. I had to do the work. So I did the work.
Babe.
And I made a plan. And it was like, the suicide was December. In February, I had ironically signed up to a Sharon Blaine course. Sharon is like the god of all things in our industry. For those
hair
not
ups,
listening.
hair up queen.
It was a photographic workshop in Sydney.
Yep, I reckon I did the same one.
I didn't want to go
around
to
that
it.
time.
It was her first one. I had every reason not to go to it, but I went to it. Ian Golding was the photographer at that workshop.
I did exactly the same one. I know exactly the one that you're talking about.
And it lit a fire in my belly once again. And I felt that same passion that I did when I was on stage, when I was dancing, when I was seeing characters change. And it reminded me why I loved hairdressing, which was so important, because when something so horrible happens and you hit rock bottom, and you don't have anything, like I was truly lost. But what that did for me, it ignited the passion, and I started practicing. And the same way that I practiced dance, I was a nerd at home. I had head dolls out. You know, I was no longer going out. I didn't even want to be seen in the small town. I didn't want to talk to anyone more than I had to talk to clients, to be honest.
Oh, and then you get the I'm so sorry and the pity eyes and the cuddles and the everything, and you kind of like, I just don't really want to relive this right now.
Yes. That's right. I just want to make you feel beautiful and do what I love and go home, please. So I would go home and sit with my dolls, because life was, you know, I went from living with him to just chilling out. And
just in a house full of dolly heads place.
Oh my God, like I just became obsessed. And, you know, it was the dolls, like I would practice their hair, and I got really good. You know, that really was the changing part for me in my career. And I was like, okay, I need a plan. So, you know, through everything hard in life, and I say this to anyone going through a hard time, because I've been through Claymore since then, but it's like, once you hit rock bottom, if you do the work, and by the way, there's no way to get through it than to run through it, like to go through it. You can't, like you said,
the only way out is through.
But if you want to get out of it, you've got to go through it. You've got to do the work, and it is hard to show up daily. It is, and I still had to go to work. I still had to face that business. I had to deal with so much of his business, and it was hard. Yeah. But for me, I did the work, and I know that on the other side of the hard times can be what you want. It can be everything you want if you can do the work.
And I mean, I also found something quite freeing. Like, there was something that was really freeing about being at the bottom, because it's like, well, it can't get any fucking worse. Like, this is it now. Like, I'm through like, you know, there was something about that was like, this is the worst of it now. Forward. Forward is the way forward. And I also found, and I know this was true of you through the things you've experienced, that like actually my work and what I did was actually not a distraction, but like something else to focus on.
It is.
I think if I had sat at home and thought about everything that had happened, I would just be a blob. Like,
absolutely. It's one of the biggest, parts of me that is like, right, get people back into the workforce, like give them a plan, give them a supporting, give them something to strive for. Anyway, so, that happened. I made the plan. My plan was to get to London and get the hell out of there. And that's what I did. I sold the salon to one of my apprentices. Mind you, also, I should mention 2 weeks after my partner committed suicide, my 2 apprentices who had just qualified decided to go on a holiday together to Tasmania. And guess what? They come back resigned. They were moving to Tasmania. So as you know, in a country town, you've just spent 4 years training 2 people and your life is at rock bottom. Like, it truly couldn't have got worse.
yeah.
One of those girls moved back from Tasmania. I did happen to sell a salon to her. I'm truly grateful for that because I didn't sell it to make money. I didn't make money. I just sold it to get rid of it and get out.
Yep. Yep. I think we've all had 1 or 2 of those in our lives where I've had 2 where I was like, I'm out. I don't just take it.
Oh my God, take it, bless it, release it. Like, just get it off my hands. So, I went to London. I did everything I wanted to do in a different capacity. I went to Sassoon. I retrained, which really, it just was my thing. Like, I fell in love with cutting hair again. I loved it. I loved the buzz. I loved London. Had my wild girls holiday with my best friends in Europe and did all the things that you need to do as a young person that I had been robbed of, really. From working so young to getting in business at 18, as you know.
Completely. It's a different life.
Yeah, different life. Anyway, so then I moved to the city because that's where my family was. That's how I ended up in Brisbane. And then I was like, right, well, what am I going to do now? I could work for, there were 2 people I wanted to work for. One is my husband now.
I know. I can't wait to hear that.
Like, I idolized him, but just, I was like, I can't go work for him. I didn't
just
feel
fangirled him hard, didn't you, darling?
I did not feel good enough to work for him. Like, imposter syndrome, right? Like, I was, and I just always joke with him about how, like, he's not good enough and how, like, he could have had me as a staff member. Like, how amazing. Anyway.
It's so funny too, isn't it? Because I always looked at you as just, and I guess I met you in this time where you were going, like, you were kind of on the other end of that, where you were like, you come out of it, you'd done the experiences, you'd learnt to live with what you had experienced. And I just always saw you as this, I found you quite intimidating actually, because I always saw you as this like strong force. And you're not a big woman, you're only a little person, but you were just such a force.
Nose, I think I've been told I have a snub nose. Like, anyway, it's like, I don't know, but I've been told that by so many people. But yeah, it's so funny. So look, I basically was like, right, I'll buy these salons in Brisbane. I knew the manager who was at the salons.
Yep.
If I didn't know the manager, I would never have bought them, put it that way. They were very different. So it was Rokstar, it was hair and beauty salons. 2 of them, one was like 42 square meters upstairs, tiny, two little basins, 4 mirrors. The other one was on the other side of the river. You walk into a salon if you haven't worked in there, and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Holy shit, what did I do?
It was, what have I done? But, I bought someone else's dream. Rokstar is a beast now. Like, what you see now, like I built a brand new premises almost 8 years ago off the plan. We went from, a very small salon, and I offloaded the second one. That's another story when my dad got
We all
sick.
been there. So good.
Yeah. I was like, just get rid of it. Like, I can't deal with 2. And my dad was diagnosed with cancer. That's the plot twist that happened 6 months after
I think
moving to Brisbane.
I think it's also this and it happens all the time. I see it frequently, obviously, in our clients, that like 2 salons equals or 2 businesses equals more money. And it's like, it also equals more problems because I was the same, went into number 2, like, yes, I can do this. It's great, blah, blah, blah. And then it just highlighted all the things that were wrong. So I was like, okay, this one has to go.
Really, I have a big belief. I'm a believer, unless you're financially in that business, like someone financial, like we have 2 salons now, absolute powerhouses, beasts, but my husband is in one and it was established before I met him too. But, you know, like, and he owns the building and it's like, it's so different, you know, whereas when you're one person trying to split yourself between 2, one always suffers, right? Because you can't take both all. Anyway. So Rokstar's a beast now and it's amazing. And I built
and you did that, queen.
Business that we've outgrown so much and gone from the 4 mirrors to 16 mirrors with, you know, a team that I built from the ground up. There is nothing from the first Rokstar that is the same. I laugh. Like I left that building staged it, but there is just nothing at all, you know? And now it's
mine had purple walls and secondhand basins, and there were those old school slidey basins. It's like, do you know what? We was fine. It functioned.
I'm a big believer in like, anything that happens that's not right in your life, I'm not the sort of person that hates on it or gets angry, or I'm just like, what can I learn from this? And you know, I'm grateful because it did give me the chance to, whilst I paid a hell of a lot for it, I bought myself a job. And then it just opened me up. I built a beautiful clientele in Brisbane and, you know, I learned very quickly what I don't want and what I want and the culture, which I built from that.
It's a true test of country girl grit too, to make sure that you can run a business as well. Like, it's so funny, that language where you're like, I bought myself a job. I didn't even buy myself a job. I bought myself a fucking problem.
Well, that is right. Like, I always myself a bomb and it's on their clock.
100%. But it's like, it's been an incredible thing to watch you turn it around as well.
Yeah, thanks, babe. And I'm truly grateful. You know, people say things happen for a reason in life, and I don't believe that at all. Like I don't think things happen for a reason. I don't. I think circumstances put you in positions where you might meet someone or things happen. People come in and out of your life at a time for a reason, but I don't think things happen to a reason because I've met too many people like yourself, like me, who, you know, have had so many horrible things. I've listened to clients over the years, the very best of people having truly awful things happen. And I just think there is no reason for that, you know?
Yeah.
So
like your beautiful dad, you were going into that too, that you're one of your favorite people on the planet. You've just moved to Brisbane.
Totally. I just moved to Brisbane. I was like in this salon slugging it out 7 days a week between both salons because I just had to. And then all of a sudden, like, as you know, you've got to live, you've got to survive. And I'm remembering this slow person and failure is not an option. So I've got to make this work. I've just taken out a massive loan to buy these salons, which I'm discovering is not my jam. And I've got to turn it around. And 6 months into that, my dad, out of the blue with no symptoms, had some seizures and was given the awful diagnosis of brain cancer, or GBM, which is the worst type of brain cancer you can get with a, you know, there is no cure. I watched him go through 4 craniotomies, brain surgeries, in a space of a very short time, 14 months, I think he survived. And, you know, I went from
it's basically just healing and then happening again. Like, it's just like as soon as you recover, it's like again.
Totally. I wasn't even recovered. And then my rock just was not only given this life sentence, very quickly deteriorating from the brain. And I was like, how is that fair? How does that happen to a man who doesn't drink, who is a triathlete, who's the nicest human, would give anyone anything? And once again, I was there at rock bottom. And so straight
watching
away,
this
I was
beautiful, robust man wither away into this old thing that's just not him at all.
Yeah. And it was incredibly cruel. You know, you don't watch, you wouldn't watch an animal. We're both dog lovers. You don't watch an animal go through that. And then you watch someone, and But through that, I knew, because of what had happened to me, I knew how important it was to get my head right. My heart wasn't right. It was shattered, but I had to do the mindset because I had to show up. Once again, I had a business that I couldn't even afford to take time off.
Yeah.
I had a staff member go on stress leave the week of my dad's funeral. Like I went back to work 2 days after the funeral. Like I couldn't afford to be off work. And it was really hard. And I had to show up for my beautiful mum, my brother, who is so young. And it just, once again, you got to do the work. And so thankfully I knew to look after my health, my heart. I had to start digging deep. Like there was, at that point, was truly the most rock bottom of my life.
Yep. You've lost your two favorite men.
Yeah.
Quickly.
But I channeled into Rokstar, exactly like you said, you've got work, and I threw everything in, and I started entering awards that year. It was that year I wrote my first submission while
and cleaning up, I will add. So you turned that pain into absolute power.
I turned that pain into power. I was like, I can't choose my story. And, I've actually never...
Yeah, I'm not going to be a victim of my story.
Yeah. I've never told anyone the story until now. So... but you can't choose what happens to life, but you can choose how you play victim. And then so I channeled myself into work, not knowing that those same strategies that I had to pull and dig deep for were then going to hit me when I discovered that I had the worst infertility of a young female.
Yes, the infertility saga. And you have one of the most unbelievable fertility stories as well, because I know that I'm your infertility sister and we're going through it too. And I guess there's something else that I want to highlight there, and that is that you found love again, and you found the most incredible love in your beautiful husband Bill, who I know you two just absolutely worship the shit out of each other. And and then you've welcomed a beautiful daughter Bella. And but it hasn't been, that didn't just happen for you either.
No, babe, it didn't. And it's kind of funny. I went from reading about Bill in magazines in the back room as an apprentice to him being my idol, to not feeling good enough to work for him. Literally, when I was at rock bottom and Dad was so ill, being an event and Bill asking me to show him a photographic collection that I'd shot, and him giving me feedback and shaking, and being that to talk to him, to forming like one of the best friendships that I could truly have, and absolutely falling head over heels madly in love for him, despite trying everything I could to not. But it's truly amazing that he came into my life when he did.
It is so important to be friends with your partner. It is so important to actually like who they are. And I know you said, I think you came to do my wedding hair, which was super sweet. I remember you were saying there, you're like, it was so weird for me. I have a man who like opens the car door, and he like dated me, and he was my friend, and he was like everything. And you're like, I've never been with someone who I could just be completely 150% myself with.
No, that's right. And because my last relationship, it didn't work out very well for me, right? Like I was put off. I was never, ever getting myself into a situation where I could be heartbroken again. But, I guess that is the beautiful thing, is through hard times, good times can come. And, we have faced really cruel infertility stories. And, babe, I take my hat off to you. And for anyone listening, like I wish that no woman or man had to go through infertility, whatever that looks like for them, or IVF, or, child loss, pregnancy loss. It's all hard. And I can't actually imagine that my journey has been so incredibly awful and hard. And, every journey is hard. Mine's pretty screwed up. And
yours is fucked. It's horrible.
Any man would stay through it. Like, it just, I have said to Bill so many times, I'm so sorry, even though I don't need to apologize. But you know, it's horrible.
And I mean, like, I've seen it happen. I have seen some of my female friends go, I can't actually physically do this anymore, and their partners have up and left them. I have seen people go through so many awful things, like this isn't enough of a thing already. And I consider myself extremely lucky too. My husband's much like Bill, and he's just supportive and happy to go with it. And, you know, thank God that he's really healthy, because I'm sure as shit not in that department. And it's just, you know, I thank him every day for being the support that I need, and also just like being there for me. And like, I've got a very doting husband as well. Like, I know you do too. That's like, you're not 100%, I'll pick it up. Like, you know, that's what everyone deserves and needs.
Absolutely. And it makes me so sad that some people
don't have
that.
it.
And I think we're not lucky because
not lucky.
We're not lucky because both of us have been through so much that have landed us with our partners that we have now, and so much I would never wish on anyone. But you know, at the end of the day, we do have caring, supporting, loving partners, which is more than a lot of women in this world. Just
so many married single mothers.
And, you know, as like you, like the thing with infertility and IVF is it's silent. It's not like a cancer diagnosis. It's not something that you wear on your face that you're having a miscarriage, or that you've just done an IVF round and you've lost all your embryos, or you've had things not fertilized, or you've just wasted, you know, thousands, 14,000 or whatever it is of money that you've worked so incredibly hard for no outcome. You don't wear that. So you just suffer in silence. And it's awful because with other diagnoses, not that I'm comparing it in any way, but with other diagnoses, you've got people showing up. You've got people saying, what can I do for you? You've got people, you know, there helping and being supportive. But infertility is something most women, and I know this because I have done it truly myself, you suffer alone. And you've still, as you know, as a business owner, you're financially responsible for other people. You have to show up. You can't take your foot off the pedal despite the awful news that you're receiving. You know, I've stood there and done a woman's hair bleeding from a miscarriage, and I had a lady tell me that I'm leaving it too late to try for a sibling for Bella. And, you know, like,
shit people say to you when you're going through it. Shut up.
I'm just standing there thinking, my God, if only he knew. If only he knew. And
it's cooked, some of the things that people say. Just be, you know, for anyone listening who hasn't experienced infertility, or maybe you even have, just be really conscious of what you say there, because we have the same thing. I mean, someone told me I was old the other day, and I was like, I'm 35. I've got a little bit of time, and I feel really good at the moment. Like, it'll happen when it's meant to happen, but it's also just like, can you shut the fuck up? Or enjoy the process. Ain't nothing enjoyable about this. Shut the fuck up.
Have you seen what has to get stuck up you for scans? Have you ever like it's just, there is nothing enjoyable about it. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. I honestly feel like I could write a book. You know,
you need to write a book of your life.
And I'm like, I just feel like the book would come with what not to say, how to show up for someone, how to be.
We'll do an episode about it one day, me and you.
Totally. Like, it's just, and then also, you know, like, because a lot of like infertility or life, you know, this whole thing has been about so many things that have happened. And you just look at me, people look at me and they see the success, and they see Rokstar, and they see the awards, they see me
published
on stage,
everywhere, all online, at all the events. Talking on all the stages.
At the events. They haven't seen me backstage jabbing myself. They haven't seen me rushing off in Sydney for a scan at a random place, or trying to find a blood clinic open at 6 a.m. before I have to go and do a seminar.
Because you got to have it before 7:30 in the morning. They
haven't seen you know, me recovering from surgery to get a message from a staff member, which sends your heart, you know, absolutely panicking, because then all of a sudden you realize that you can't have time to recover because your business needs you, or, you know, you've got a query and you have to show up to them because they don't know, you know, like because of the silence. So it's
also something, and I know you're like this too, is like, I don't want to burden other people with my problems either. You know, we have to show up for so many other people. So and I know that if I told a lot of people, they would be fine. Like we had experienced a miscarriage right before I got married, and we were kind of at each other because we were just like, this is so fucked up. How is this happening? Blah, 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 blah. But, you know, it's just not something you want to burden other people with. And I know that you're like me, where you just kind of fight in your own way. And yeah, it's really sad.
It's really sad. There's a lot of shame that comes with our stories, you know, like the same for me, there's like been so much inner work that I've had to do, you know, with suicide, but then also with like IVF. It's like, it's such a personal thing to share, you know, it's like, it's such a thing for a female to not be able to get pregnant, to miscarry, to then have to go through the emotional turmoil and the hormones, you know, like it's like you said, we don't want to burden people. And
I think people also get a bit awkward about it too. They don't really know what to say or what to do. So then they get like, and I'm like, I don't want to do that to someone else to like make them feel weird or like.
You listening to my story, so I'm just not going to tell you because I feel sorry for you hearing this shit, you know? But also it's like, there's like we're both independent people. We get shit done. We stand up no matter how much and we brush it off and we show up and, you know, we have beautiful fur babies in our life that we hug and get that dopamine hit. But, you know, it's like you're the same, baby. You've been through so much. It's like the resilience that you have and what has happened in life almost like it just doesn't end. There's always something, right? Like,
oh my God, 100%. I think it's like you've also just got to, like we said earlier, you know, you've got to either take it and run with it and learn to live with it, because you don't ever get over things that happen. You don't ever get to forget about things that happen, and nor should you want to. But like you learn to just incorporate that as part of who you are and just like live with it, you know. And that's something that you've got. It's a choice. It's a daily active choice.
It is. I said this to someone the other day. Like I never allow myself to sit in sadness for too long because...
I put a deadline on it. 48 hours.
Deadline. Feel the feelings. Eat my feelings. Like I wish I was an emotional eater. My God. I envy those people that drop weight and can't eat because I'm just like, give me all of the chocolates. Give me fruit and nut. Give me all the dopamine hits. But I don't allow myself to sit there for too long because... I know that being victim is a far worse off place than getting up, doing the work and putting on your makeup, fake it till you glow up, you know?
I loved that it was after one of your losses previously and you were like, I'm just going to go and eat everything inside and get a cocktail as big as my head and I'll be back on track tomorrow. And I was like, queen. Get it?
Like, literally, the things I have sacrificed for equality, alcohol, you know, cocktails, all of that. I'm like, I just need a cocktail. I need a breezy day out. I just need something. Like, honestly.
And back to normal programming in 24 hours. See you then.
I was looking at a restaurant that's just opened in Brisbane and it's like dancing on tables. And I was like, which of my friends would want to come and dance on a table with me at the moment? I don't know. Maybe you. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, I would. Like, there's a group of bars in Victoria and it's called Piano Bar. Shout out if you guys are listening in. But literally, so what they do is it's all drag queens and then even the bar staff get on the bars and the tables and everyone ends up dancing and you go there to get loose. Like no one goes there to stay sober and it's so much fun. So I am 100% down for dancing on a bar in Brisbane. Let's go.
Look at dancing, like maybe that's why I love dancing so much. It's like a dopamine hit. It's a shame that
it's a physical movement of energy as well, isn't it? Like you're actually moving.
That's why in cultures, you know, when I was in Greece, like we smashed plates, danced, you know, had the best times. But it's like that dancing, it gives you those endorphins, and that's why, you know, people feel that happiness. It brings people together. Now I dance, and my 4-year-old's like, stop. Like, please stop. Mom, it's just kind of complex. Like, she's like, no. I'm like, oh,
and
great.
Bella Baby is also into hair dancing. And I think you may have another hairdresser in your future there because she seems very, very intrigued by all of this. I love watching you and Bill training her and letting her do hair and playing on dolly heads and all the things. I think it's quite incredible.
It's it's so funny. And like we said, I am just the sort of parent that whatever you want to do, babe, you just do it, but do it well. Don't be a terrible worker. Don't have terrible work ethic. Be a good human.
You two could not raise a child with terrible work ethic at all.
Oh my God. I think I'm raising a child like she has all of my qualities and all of Bill's, but she is strong-minded, most beautiful soul. But it's not looking like she's going to be a hairdresser at this point. I think she's going to be running for
CEO, something,
human rights, or a barrister, or
love
something, But I know that you're all about, building women up, supporting women, strong, like-minded.
I also believe in raising kids to be wild. Like, let them be wild. Let them be loud. For I was forever told I was bossy and distracted and chatty and all these other things. And look how it's showed up later in life as a privilege and a benefit,
Absolutely. Like, I remember, I was that kid in school that was told, stop talking. Like, stop talking. You dream too big. You're a dreamer. Like, come back down to earth, Brodie, was said to me so many times by teachers and childhood and, also business. It's like, they were like, if you don't learn this trigonometry, or if you don't learn that X plus this equals this, you're never going to be able to succeed in life. And if you don't learn your maths or times tables, well, look what we have now. We have ChatGPT. Yep. We have
that's for me.
And also I've worked so hard that if I can't do it, I pay someone, but it's just
hard.
Like, can we take a moment to look at you and look at myself? And neither of us were mainstream country girls going through country school, but look at what we've done for ourselves. It's an example of school is not everything for everyone. And you and I are both massive supporters of education. We love it. We breathe it. We're about to do an event together. We believe in educating people, but it's find whatever it is in that person. So for me, with my team or anyone I mentor, in a photo shoot situation, it's find what lights them up, find what's special, and help them achieve it. Because when you help others, that helps you, right?
So fueling, so feeding. I feel so fulfilled every day when I only achieve when my clients achieve. And I know it's the same you feel about your staff as well. I only achieve when they achieve. And it's watching that happen and knowing you contributed to that and knowing you supported them in that is better than sex. Not quite, but
totally. Sorry,
it's right up there.
But it's that proud moment. I'm always that business owner that is in the room where my team are at a seminar or at an awards night, and I'm there and I'm clapping them on, and I never miss anything, no matter what's going on in my life. Although I did miss last year's awards night, which we happened to win awards because I was sick. But it was but I'm generally there and I'm cheering them on and I'm being that person that's showing up for them the same way that my dad showed up for me or my mum showed up for me, because not everyone's got that in life, as you know.
Yeah.
So I think we have the opportunity as humans to lift other people up and to make the world a better place, and to, not encourage bullying, but encourage collaboration and success and achievement.
100%. And, you are very blessed that you had beautiful parents in your life that were so supportive. And it's so nice that you've taken so much from him, even though your father's not around anymore. Your so many traits are exactly like him, and coming from a care and a health space, how much that's shown up for you in your life too. And it sounds like your mum is just as gorge. Love mama.
Mum is gorge. Yeah. My beautiful mum, who, bless her, she's HR, was human remains, we called her, of the company she worked for. But HR, but my God, I grew up never wanting to be in HR or training or learning or development, which she was in, because it consumed her. And, for anyone who knows mining knows that it's pretty full on to be in HR. You're dealing with some horrible stuff. But, far out, has she taught me a lot in business as that young little 18-year-old who had no idea.
So handy to have that person in your life, to be honest.
oh my God, like she's saved me so many times. And I'm really, really, really blessed that for whatever reason I ended up with them as parents. And even having my dad for a very short time in my life, I'm grateful for the time that I had.
Yeah, that's fucking unreal, babe. I love that so much. And so I guess to finish this off, any advice for anybody who is wanting to join the industry, is experiencing difficult things? Like what's your advice? What's your thing here? The whole thing's been advice, but what's your final message to the world?
My final message, I guess for anyone wanting to join the industry, hairdressing gets a really bad rap, right? Our completion rate for apprenticeships is just embarrassing as an industry, and it's really sad. There's a lot of amazing hairdressers and a lot of great business owners doing great things and learning through education with people with the likes of like yourself as business coaches, and they're doing the work to better themselves and to better their salons. So I think, our industry's future is bright if you want to be a hairdresser.
I agree.
It can take you anywhere. Like it can take you, look at what you've done with it. You've worked fashion weeks, you've done amazing competitions, you've won awards, you've had brilliant, thriving salons. You now live a life of leisure on the sunny coast as a business coach. You have so many amazing things with mortgages and houses and building and things that I bet your 13-year-old self didn't know was possible when you started as a hairdresser, right?
100%.
And
100%.
for me,
I thought it was too dumb to do anything else, to be honest. So that's kind of why I went into it. It's opened.
I was like, I think as a 13-year-old who loved it but saw a country town hairdressing experience, which those fundamentals, by the way, so important,
Totally.
Hemming, cutting, all of those things. But it was the dance that opened my eyes up to stage, to theatre, to runways, to makeup, to hair, to fashion. And knowing that that was possible as a young apprentice made me hungry. There is so many avenues. So, I would never have dreamt that it could take me all around the world, to fashion weeks, to photo shoots, to even
everywhere.
Just providing a mortgage and giving me a beautiful, work. I don't believe there's work-life balance as a salon owner, but there's a wonderful, you work.
I have a whole episode coming out about the work-life blend, honey, because they don't balance, they blend.
It took me a while to figure it out. There is no balance. But, for my team, my rock stars work 4-day weeks. How amazing to not work a Saturday, to work
same as our barbers and hairdressers.
Have an incredible life, to have opportunities, to there's just so much. So get into the industry and do it. Whether you just want to cut hair or whether you want to go into fashion, whether you want to go and work backstage as a wig designer or work on, theatre shows, and you want to educate, you want to be a business coach, whatever it is, just start. Start now. Find a salon, find a great mentor.
Yes.
I'm for my next intake of apprentices, by the way.
Rokstar.
And, just go for it. And then when it's life is going to be hard. Life isn't fair. The advice that I have is it is going to be hard. Everything you want in life is hard. Nothing worth having is easy
to grab.
To achieve. Yep. And if it is, you have that luck that I don't know what that luck is. I'm still yet to discover.
I want that.
It's hard work, but there's seasons in life, right? And there's winter, there's spring, there's summer. So there's going to be times where in winter it is really dark and it is cold and it is lonely, and you might feel feelings of not wanting to go out in the world and just sit alone and be with yourself. And that's the perfect time to feel the feelings, acknowledge them, and do the work. Because after winter always comes spring. And spring is beautiful. Things start to blossom, opportunities grow, and after spring is summer. And we all know it well. I mean, babe, you're Victorian, you moved to Queensland, so I'm going to say you were chasing the summer. Sunshine.
How did you know?
Beautiful times. That's that dopamine hit. So, if you're going through a hard time at the moment, know that it's a season. Know that it can and it will change. but you have to support yourself, and you've got to get your head and heart right with everything. With any hard thing in life, for me, I have to have my head and heart right. And I have to acknowledge that. And sometimes that's taking a couple of days to get your shit together, and then you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Looking after yourself, being soft with yourself, you know, you have to put this
having grace, giving yourself some grace. Yeah.
That's kind of my advice. Like,
I love that.
Is that good?
That's amazing.
I'm like, thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't tell you that you had to come up with that too. So sorry you've done that on the spot. But look, I guess the other thing is I'm very excited. Brodie and I are running a full day education day together in Brisbane, 16th of February next year, and it's just going to be all things business, boss, families, life, living, everything. And it's for owners, leaders, and managers. And we're really excited. So if you want to get involved, reach out to either of us. And where can everybody find you, Broads?
So you can find me on Instagram at Brodie Lee Rokstar. Rokstar doesn't have a C, by the way, guys. Brodie Lee Rokstar. Slide into my DMs. Cait, I'm so excited to be doing this with you on the 16th of February. I know it's been a long time coming. I think what
we've been talking about it for a year. It's about time we did it.
Because it's like the business coach and the salon owner, and we see both sides. You're living it every day, talking to salon owners. I'm in it, feeling all of the things that everyone has. Yes. So we just can't wait to share, right? Like,
100%. I'm so excited. It's going to be so great. So thank you so much. I know that, like you said, this is the first time you've really opened up and had this completely candid talk about the things that have been in your life, but I think you are fucking incredible. You are an absolute rock star at life, at business, at hair, at all the things. And I think that, you know, every adversity that you've experienced has really shaped who you are today. And I think that it's just amazing that you've taken that pain and turned it into power, and just like, you know, all the things that you've done. And, you know, we're all rooting for you with the infertility journey as well, and whatever that looks like for you in the future. But I love you, and thank you for being such a beautiful friend. And thank you for being here today.
Love you right back. Love your work. Love what you stand for. And thanks for having me as a guest on the potty.
No worries.